If you guys want to win a copy of the Ultimate Edition of FIFA 19 worth around $100, all you need to do is leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel. Do those three things, that'll enter you into the giveaway and I'll be sending a copy to one of you guys when the game's released. Hey guys, FUTTIES here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new FUTTIES promo coming to FIFA 18 within the next couple of weeks, and some of the new cards we can expect via the FUTTIES SBCS. Now for those of you who don't know, last year the FUTTIES promo started on July the 7th and ended on August the 16th, so it lasted around 6 weeks in total, and the main thing we saw, as well as end of an era SBCs and marquee transfer SBCs, were the FUTTIES cards and the FUTTIES winner cards, and these are all available via SBCs. So in this video I'm going to be going over 10 categories with 30 players on FIFA 18, and I've been looking through FUTBIN and they have a feature that shows you the most popular and the most used players on FIFA 18, so I've been able to find the real fan favourites that everyone uses who are most likely going to be nominated for the FUTTIES categories. So you will see the majority of the players I'll show you in this video when EA actually release the FUTTIES, so it will give you a good idea of maybe who you want to vote for and just which cards are going to be released. So if you guys do enjoy, leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and without further ado, let's go into it. Before showing you guys the players, I just wanted to quickly explain how and why players actually get selected for the FUTTIES categories, because they're not just any random player. First of all, they have to be popular, they have to have some good stats, they have to be a player that people like using, a real fan favourite on FIFA 18. Also, you're not going to see crazy high rated players, Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, De Gea, all those types of players. Even though they're really popular, they won't receive FUTTIES items just because they're really high rated, and these are meant to be for some of the lower rated, more overpowered players on the game. So the majority will be around 80 to 85 rated overall. You may see the odd lower rated player. I doubt you'll really see anyone over about 85 or 86 overall, at least with their base card. The FUTTIES winner item could go anywhere up to like 90, 91 rated overall, obviously depending on the players. You can expect like a +4, +5, maybe a +3 depending on the player and their stats with the FUTTIES winner item. Another thing to bear in mind is if a player has had 2 or more special items with boosted stats over the course of FIFA 18, they cannot receive a FUTTIES item. We saw this last year with Anthony Martial, one of the most popular, if not the most popular player on the entire game. He had 2 informs, so couldn't actually get a FUTTIES or a FUTTIES winner item. This year, Alessandrini, he's had 2 informs. Lozano's had 2 informs and a team of the season card. So players like that, even though they're unbelievably popular, there's some real fan favourites on this game, they're unlikely to receive a FUTTIES item unless EA changes the way they work. Last year that's how it worked. I don't really think it's going to change too much this year. So if a player's had numerous special items, informs, man of the match cards, whatever they are, they're not going to be able to receive a FUTTIES card. Also, if a player's got a team of the season card, they're probably not going to be receiving a FUTTIES item. It just wouldn't really make too much sense. If they've already got a high rated version, there's no point releasing a lower rated player when you could just release someone different that doesn't already have a team of the season card. So there are a few things just to bear in mind. Also, there's probably going to be quite a wide variety of different players from different leagues and nations. Most of the popular players on FIFA 18 play in the Premier League, as it is the most popular and widely used league on the whole game. So I doubt every single category is going to be filled with Premier League players just because they want to add more variety. Last year we normally had kind of 1 player from each league for each of the categories, so you'd have 3 different leagues, 3 different nations for each category. Sometimes there'd be a couple of Premier League players in there, but you're not really going to see a whole category full of Premier League players, for example, just because it makes it a bit boring. They want to add in a variety of different players to suit different people using different teams, different leagues, different nations. You guys get the idea. So starting off in the goalkeeper position, these are the 3 most popular and overpowered keepers on FIFA 18. According to FUTBIN, they're the most used keepers that actually fit the requirements for a FUTTIES item. There were obviously other options, the likes of De Gea, he's too high rated, and Donnarumma, who's had 2 special items, so can't actually receive one of these cards. But behind those guys, these are the 3 most popular keepers on the game. So let me know who you guys would vote for all of these categories down below in the comment section, and that will give us a good idea of the players who are likely to actually win these categories when the official SBCs are released. Now at first there are just going to be 3 different SBCs released with the exact same card stats and rating as the standard version of the player, and they'll be available for 24 hours. You complete them as a vote. Whoever's been completed the most times, whoever wins the category, then gets a FUTTIES winner item released for 24 hours, and that obviously has the boosted stats. So we've got Farman, Szczesny and Begovic. A lot of people will go with Begovic because he plays in the Premier League, and that's understandable. A lot of people like using Premier League teams. I would personally go with Farman here. He's my favourite keeper out of the 3. He's also higher rated, he's got an amazing card already, so just with a boost in stats he'd be even better. And you can link him in really nicely to a lot of different teams. The two others, Szczesny's Polish and plays for Juventus, so you're really kind of limiting your options. You have to use either a Serie A defence or you have to use someone like Chiellini or Barzagli. Begovic, you basically just have to use a Premier League team because he plays for Bournemouth and Bosnia and Herzegovina. But with Farman, you can link him to the likes of Boateng, very, very popular in this game. Loads of good players there, so I would personally go with Farman. Let me know down below who you'd vote for. Next up on the right hand side of defence, we have got Florenzi, Valencia and Oreo. These are three of the most popular right backs on FIFA 18. According to FUTBIN, they're the most used players in this position. Walker's definitely up there as well, but he's already got an inform and a team of the season card, so he won't be receiving a Footies item. But I think out of all of these ones, I would probably go with Florenzi just because there's quite a lack of really good fullbacks in the Calcio. It's one of the few positions where they're kind of let down on Ultimate Team, and Florenzi's got an amazing card, just amazingly well-rounded stats, and if he got a Footies card in that right back position, it would be crazy. He would have over 80 in every single stat, and he'd just be so good. Valencia, he's good, but you've already got Walker in the Premier League, and he's got an amazing card there, so you don't really need a better right back. Same with Oreo, he's got a great card, but you don't really need a great right back in the Premier League when you've already got Kyle Walker with this team in the season card, so for me, it would have to be Florenzi. Next up on the left-hand side, we have got Danny Rose, Lukaku, and Mehndi. I think out of all of these options, I would go with Jordan Lukaku, just because in the Premier League, we've already got a really good option with Robertson and his team in the season card. I don't really see the need to upgrade. With Danny Rose, he would have quite a similar card to Robertson. He'd probably go up to like an 84 or 85 rating overall, and it would be good, but I think you've already got Robertson there who fulfills that role. But Lukaku, he would be awesome in that position because Alexandro, I don't think, has a team in the season card. So having Lukaku in there would be great. Also, Belgium don't have too many good left backs. He's their only good option really on Ultimate Team. And if he got a boosted card like 83 maybe, 82 overall, he'd have probably about 94 pace. He'd have really good physical. That card would be amazing. Mehndi as well, I mean, just like with Rose, you've already got a good option on the left in the Premier League, so for me, it would have to be Lukaku. Next up, we've got the centre-backs with some very familiar faces in here. So we start off with Kostas Manolas, and then we've also got Antonio Rudiger and Eric Bailly as well. I think a lot of people would vote for Bailly just because he's so overpowered and popular on this game, and also the key factor, he plays in the Premier League. And I obviously agree, he's very, very good on this game, but I think I'd vote for Manolas just because he's already got 80 pace. Imagine a Footies winner version of that card. He'd have like 86 or 87 pace. You could partner him up with Team of the Season Koulibaly, who's also got very, very good pace, and that would just be an unpenetrable defence. I know some people may not want to vote for him just because of the fact that he's Greek, so he's quite hard to link into teams, but if you think about it, you've got Nainggolan, Florenzi, Team of the Season Alisson as well. Loads of good options there to link him into your team, so I personally would go with Manolas, although Rudiger and Bailly would also be amazing. Moving up into the midfield, I've actually decided to group all of the midfielders together, so we've got attacking midfielders, centre mids and defensive midfielders, and that allows me to include some extra categories with some cool players in here. And when I was looking through the midfielders, many of the most popular cards on this game already have a lot of special cards, so can't actually receive footy items. The like of Milinkovic, Savic, Goretzka, they both have team of the season cards and lots of informs. You've got people like Kante, but they're just too high rated. So I decided to just go with midfielders in general, and I thought I'd be able to fit in some better players overall by doing this. So we've got Bakayoko. I think he would probably win out of these categories, at least out of these players here, but I think regardless of who you put him up against, Bakayoko would most likely win because he is one of the most popular and meta players on FIFA 18. Everyone used him, myself included, at the beginning of the game before they had enough coins to get icons and people like Kante, but he's just so overpowered. You can link him to Martial. Everyone used to use him, Martial, Jesus, Mbappe, those types of players at the beginning of the game. And I think he would definitely win. That card would be amazing. Dembele would also be great to see because he'd have a really, really well-rounded card. Although you do already have a lot of well-rounded centre mids in the Premier League. You've got, for example, Fernandinho and Pogba. But I think Bakayoko would be a great option there. Also, Tolisso, he's very popular on this game. And that would be a nice card to see. He does already have an inform, so this card would probably be like 1 or 2 ratings higher than that. It would be really good. Although, again, if you think of it, you already have a lot of well-rounded French centre mids like Pogba. You've also got good players in the Bundesliga like Vidal. But I think Bakayoko, he'd just give you an absolute brick wall in the middle of your midfield. As a defensive midfielder, if you still don't have the coins for someone like Patrick Vieira, he would be perfect for you. The next category is both left and right wingers. Again, I've decided to just mix the two together, as a lot of the popular wingers on this game already have a lot of special cards, and again, it allows me to include some extra categories at the end of the video. So I've gone with Balde Diao, Ousmane Dembele, and then Anthony Martial as the 3 players. And I think, again, it's like the last category where Bakayoko would win regardless of who you put him up against. I think here again, Martial, no matter who is in this category, Martial will 100% win it, because everyone loves Martial on this game, myself included. He is so good, and he hasn't received any boosted special cards over the course of this game. He's got a Path to Glory card, but so that obviously hasn't received a boost because he hasn't got an inform or a man of the match or anything like that. But this card would just be crazy. He could potentially be included in maybe a position change category as a striker, and that would probably be even better, so we could potentially see that. But regardless, I think he will definitely win whatever category he's put in. Ousmane Dembele, though, is also very popular. He's got 5-star skill moves and 5-star weak foot, and it's a card I would love to see. And then Balde Diao as well, a player I use a lot at the beginning of the game. I mean, you've got a lot of options on the wing. Heung-min Son, for example, is really popular, but he's got a lot of different special cards. He's got a team in the season, so he wouldn't be able to get a FUTTIES card. And I think out of the cards that could potentially get one, these are some of the players who are most likely to, and I think Martial, hands down, would win this category. To finish off the position-based categories, we've got strikers, and we've got Jesus, Ben Yedder, and Antonio as the 3 options. Antonio, at the beginning of this game, was my favourite striker. He was so overpowered. I remember Matt HD Gamer and lots of other YouTubers doing videos on him. He was just so broken. But over the course of the game, I think Jesus has probably been the most used striker. Everyone loves using Jesus. Even now, you still see him in loads and loads of teams, even at the very high level in the top divisions, even in FUT Champions. But at the beginning, literally every team you came up against had him in. He's so popular, and I really think that he would win this category. Again, regardless of who you put him up against, just because he's so popular, he's almost nailed on 100% to win the category. It would be an amazing card. He's already got 1 special item. It is an inform, an 84 rated card, so this would probably be like 86, 87, and that will be very good. And then Ben Yedder is 1 final card in there. He's really popular. He's got a great card, 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills. I really like using him, but I don't really see any way that he'd win when you've got Jesus in here. I would vote for Jesus. That card would be crazy. So moving on to the extra categories, the first one is skillers. So this would be 5-star skillers, and some of the most popular on this game that haven't been included in previous categories. The most popular is Ousmane Dembele, but he was already in as a winger. We've got Gelson Martins, Hatem Ben Arfa, and Yarmolenko. So 2 of these players already have 84 rated informs, and they are Martins and Yarmolenko, so they'd probably have a slightly higher rated FUTTIES winner card, which would be cool. But I think out of these options, I would vote for Ben Arfa. You don't really have many options as an attacking midfielder in Ligue 1. There aren't many 5-star skillers as well in that league. Ben Arfa would be awesome, and you could link him. Imagine this, Ben Arfa as a striker, he'd already have like 80-ish pace, 80-ish shooting, he'd have a good card. Ben Arfa as a striker, and then Di Maria on one wing, Neymar on the other wing. You would have the ultimate skiller front 3. That would be so fun. So I would love Ben Arfa to win this. He hasn't played that well this season. He's hardly played at all. He hasn't been given any game time really for PSG, so it would be good to see him get a special card, and I would definitely vote for him. The next category is pretty similar, and that is weak foot. Obviously players who have got a 5-star weak foot. So these are 3 players I've picked. There are a couple of others who aren't included. Ousmane Dembele is one of them. He's really popular, but he's already been included in a previous category. But we've got Pedro, Zielinski, and Belotti. There are other players who could potentially be included here. This one's quite open. There are quite a lot of players who all seem quite similar in terms of usage and popularity on the game, and all add 5-star weak foot. These are just 3 I've picked. We've got a player from the Premier League and then 2 options from the KSUA. Zielinski, Pedro, and Belotti. I think I would probably go with Zielinski out of all of these. We've got a lot of options on the right hand side already in the Premier League. Belotti doesn't really have the type of card I'd like to use on Ultimate Team. He's a great striker, but he doesn't have 4-star skill moves. Zielinski, though, has got 5-star weak foot, 4-star skills, good pace, good dribbling. He's already got an inform, so that would mean this card would be boosted up a little bit. It would be really nice. He'd have almost Hullet Gang stats. I mean, I think he'd lack a little bit in defending and physical. He'd probably have like 70 for those, but all the other stats would be over 80. You could link him up to Alan, who's got an inform card with pretty similar stats. there are some really good midfielders in the league, and he would link in very, very nicely to them. So personally, I would be voting for Zielinski, but let me know who you would pick in this category down below in the comments. Finally, we've got position change players. Now, this isn't based completely on popularity because it's really hard to find out which players are most popularly used in other positions. There aren't really any stats. There's no data for that on FUTBin, but I've looked through and found some players who'd have stats that would make them suit a different position very well, and there are still players that are popular on this game. So first up is Inaki Williams. Now, he would suit the striker role very, very well. He's a default right winger. I mean, look at that card, 93 pace. He's got good passing, dribbling, physicality, just all round a really, really nice card. He's quite tall as well. He's got 4-star skill moves, and he would be a very, very effective striker. So he would definitely be a card I'd like to see. He reminds me a lot of Antonio, as in he's quite a physical player, but also very, very quick, and he's got the skill moves and dribbling. So I would definitely like to see that as a Footies winner card. We've also got Guerrero. This card would be quite well rounded. He'd have some good stats. He's a default left mid, although he plays left back a lot of the time as well. He could maybe even get a left back Footies item, but I think as a central player, he would be really, really good. He'd have a nice well-rounded card. He'd have over 80 in pretty much everything apart from defending. He'd be a nice kind of just ball-playing, playmaker midfielder. I think he would get a good card if he was released as a Footies winner item. And then finally, we've got Kondogbia as a centre-back. I think he'd suit this role really, really well. He's got a nice, well-rounded card, good pace, good defending, good physicality. He's tall. He's got good work rates. It would be a good card in that position, but I think personally, I would go with Inaki Williams out of all of these options, but there are some really cool players in here, so let me know who you'd pick down below. So there we go, guys. Those are my 10 different Footies categories. 3 players that I think could be nominated for each of them, and I've obviously told you guys who I think deserves to win each of them and who I'd like to win each of those categories. But let me know any of your opinions down below. Maybe there are some players you think I've missed out. I have been using FUTBin on the whole for these to find the most popular and most used players on the game in different positions, but for some of these it's more down kind of to my personal opinion, just players I've picked. For example, with the weak foot category, as it's quite hard to choose. Same with position changes. I'm not saying these are all 100% going to be the players you guys see in the categories you see, but on the whole they're going to be pretty similar. We're going to see different positions, and I've shown you guys some of the most popular players in key positions on the pitch. We may have some different categories. It may not be weak foot, skill moves and position change. It may be really good free kick takers or long shot takers or legendary kind of iconic players in FIFA. We may see like a Barbo or someone, we may see Bentner, Akinfen, or those types of cards. I'm not sure, but I just gave you guys a rough idea of some of the players to expect with the new Footies SBCs. So if you guys enjoy, let me know everything you think about the video down below. Players I've missed out, your guys' opinions on the players I've included, any improvements, anything like that, let me know. Leave a like, let's try and smash 200 on the video, that'd be much appreciated, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.